Good morning, good people of Malaysia. This is Matthias Chang once again from Future Fast Forward. I hope all of you had a good rest, have recharged your batteries over a long weekend. As you know, over a long weekend, much news have come forward that have shocked the entire country. On the top of the list is the issue of 1MDB. Second, our Prime Minister's foreign policy vis-a-vis the Middle East, Saudi Arabia and Qatar. And third, some very stupid statement by one MP of PKR that will harm and destroy the reputation of Anwar Ibrahim, even without other national throwing any stones at Anwar or PKR. However, having reviewed the issues and the content which I have gathered over the weekend, I'm not able, no matter how much I try, to suppress or compress all the three issues into one address. So I've decided to focus today's address purely on the latest development on 1MDB. And if I have time, I will touch on the other two issues, if not on a later video address to you sometime next week. First and foremost, most of you have read some information from news reports in Malaysian Kini, Free Malaysia Today, and what have you, about the suit filed by DOJ against JhoLow and the family. But surprisingly, as in the past, I wonder why journalists, bloggers who have all the means had not gone to the very source of the DOJ suit. And I'm sad to say, time after time, we have, at Future Fast Forward, always go to the source so as not to be accused by the Najib regime and cabal and the scumbags, barking dogs, that we are relying on foreign press, and the foreign press tell lies, all right, and ask the rakyat not to believe the so-called lies carried by the foreign press. Just recently, another minister came forward and warned the rakyat, don't read foreign press, they're all lies. We must verify what is still in the press. My question to the idiot minister and the continuing propaganda by all the stubborn troopers of the Najib cabal and regime, have you checked the source? Or what was reported by Sarawak Report? Or was it Wall Street Journal? I challenge you scumbag ministers and the stubborn troopers paid for, bought for by Najib, that you have not checked the source, as I have done. Because if you have checked the source, you will know there's ironclad evidence and proof against the criminal bastard, yes, I'm using the word, the criminal bastard JhoLow, and his accomplices and his family, led by his father, Larry Lau, have committed grievous crimes. And I'll show you in due course that what I say today is based on the very source document. Here you have 144 pages of pleadings of the DOJ latest claim against JhoLow with regard to certain properties in London, which was reported in the press, Wall Street Journal, reproduced in Malaysian Kini, reproduced in Free Malaysia Today, and other bloggers. But none took the trouble to actually reproduce and obtain the actual source documents. And this being public documents in a court in California, I challenge the numbskulls in UMNO, especially the loudmouth ministers who keep on telling and trying to confuse the people. I therefore, without further ado, will now show to you the variant documents So please take your handphone, get ready, please. As I show you the documents, photograph it, and spread throughout the country, because it's the best weapon. The truth is the weapon, as I cannot say to you, to destroy, demolish the rubbish spewed by the Najib cabal. Here you have, there are 3 new suits filed by DOJ of America. The first suit, all right, and I will now ask you to focus on the top page, the number. Okay, case 2:17 CV 04240 DSF PLA, correct? The case number. Now, you photograph again who are the plaintiffs and who are the defendants. You got it? Photograph it. So, I'm no minister, scumbag, shut up. Here is the evidence of the new suit. Alright? Okay. This suit, as well as the other 2 other suits, has been verified in this statement. Photograph it, as was the case in the first claim by DOJ way back in July 2016. You got that? The agent, FBI agent, Quilling, dated 7 June 2017. You got it? Photograph it. Right. And then, in each of the suit, they have attached the attachment that involves the relevant asset that has been frozen. Okay? You will notice in this attachment, JhoLow's name has been specifically mentioned. You will recall in the previous suits, his family, father, brother was mentioned. But here is very clear cut. JhoLow name is mentioned. Alright? Please photograph it. Thank you. Now, I will go to the second suit. Okay? Photograph the first top part of the page. Case 2:17 CV 04242 DSF PLA. Second suit. Although the name of the property sounds the same, there are 2 different properties. Okay? Stratton Street. Same name, but 2 different properties. The first case refers to one property of the same name. This second suit refers to the second property of the same name. You got it? Okay. Now, once more, the attachment to the suit, 144 pages, make reference very clearly who they are going after. Please photograph. I've done my part. Please do your part. The small effort to photograph it and pass on to everyone in Malaysia. Alright? Okay. This is the second suit. The third suit the number is case 2:17 CV 04244 DSF PLA. You got it? Now you photograph the whole page. Who are the plaintiffs and who are the defendants? Alright? And then once again, in that suit, there's an attachment to that suit. Once again naming JhoLow as one of the culprits. You got it? Photograph it, alright? Okay. So, I've asked to you the title page of the first and second suit. You will notice the first suit is called Stratton Street London Limited, okay, owned by. And then you have 8-9 Stratton Street, the third property, okay. Now, interestingly, now before I go on to explain the evidence, I will first show you a page, then I will read out to you, or summarize to you what is in that page, okay? It will show to you that this scumbag bastard criminal, JhoLow, and I challenge JhoLow to sue me because I'm calling him a criminal bastard. Sue me in court in Malaysia. I dare you. Has used the same methodology. Used several corporations with same name. Like the BVI in Virgin Islands. You know, the company. ABA BVI. To confuse people who is actually involved in a deal and who owns the actual property. And you recall earlier I said to you that Rothschilds were the trustees of a lot of the assets owned by JhoLow and the family registered in New Zealand. But Rothschild refused to intervene in the DOJ suit because they were afraid, and rightly so, that if they intervene, being trustee, they will be deemed to be complicit in conspiracy with JhoLow to launder money, alright, and buy property with illicit money. They refused to intervene. Then JhoLow and the family sacked them and appointed new trustees who were then applied to intervene in the DOJ case in California. And said that those properties previously frozen by DOJ in 2016 should not be frozen or forfeiture, under forfeiture, because they belong to JhoLow and were bought with clean money. But in the process, they also revealed some other assets owned by JhoLow and family. And lo and behold, they let the cat out of the bag. There were more assets, which at the particular time of intervention, DOJ weren't aware. So, God is great. In a desperation to unfreeze the account and the assets, and to prove they are so innocent, they showed, look, we have other assets, purchased with clean money. But those other assets, 3 of which I've shown to you, are now subject matter of 3 new suits. Therefore, in summary, when JhoLow tried to be clever, acting on behalf of his masters to unfreeze the assets in the bank accounts, they have dug a bigger hole and now exposed themselves to further forfeiture proceedings on 3 further assets. Okay? God is great and God works in mysterious ways. Now, before I go on, okay, how JhoLow exposed himself as well as his masters, I will now have referred to page 133 all the way to page 139 of the present new suit. Okay, so get your handphone ready, and I will now show you page 133 and I'll explain to you. Okay, photograph 133 now. And then make sure you spread it. You got it? Okay. Now I'll read to you. At page 133, paragraph R, JhoLow acquired an interest in a Stratton penthouse, one property, and a Stratton flat, another property, using 1 MDB proceeds funneled through Good Star and Siloam accounts. So if this money traces back to the first transaction, the first joint venture with the criminal bastards in Petro Saudi, Good Start, remember the money? 700 million went pushing and ended up in Good Start. Okay, let me read to you. Paragraph 504. Low acquired the penthouse flat located in building known as the Stratton House in Mayfair, London, United Kingdom. Hereafter referred to the Stratton Penthouse. Another Mayfair property located several doors down from the Stratton Penthouse, the Stratton Flat, with proceeds traceable to the 700 million wire transfer from one MDB to Good Start account. Pause here. That's why from day one I kept on saying, go to the first transaction. That's where it all started. How the money went to the private account of Good Start. Okay? Even though Najib came on denying that the money didn't go to the private account of JhoLow, or that JhoLow owned Good Start. Here's very clear. Paragraph 505. On about March 19, 2010, approximately £35 million was wired from Good Start account to a Royal Bank of Scotland, RBS London, account name Matthias LP, client's account number 1. Matthias is a lawyer for JhoLow. Matthias LP is a UK law firm based in London. Interbank records on the transaction indicate that this wire was needed to complete the purchase in the UK. Okay? Low used his Malaysian and St. Kitts and Nevis passport. Can you imagine? Under our law, you can only have one passport, Malaysian passport. He has also, besides the US passport, now St. Kitts and Nevis passport. I therefore now ask Ramadan and the Home Minister, what are you waiting for? Why have you not taken action to revoke the citizenship of JhoLow as a Malaysian citizen? Now that it's very clear in our court proceedings, he has used different passports. Low provided with RBS codes, another bank, with additional details about the 35 million wire transfer. Quote unquote, Low stated to this bank, I hope all is well. As discussed, please kindly arrange for the wire transfer of £35 million in full to the account details below for value date as soon as possible. Then Low provided details of Matthias RBS London account, previously defined as Matthias LP client's account number 1, and indicated that the approximate £35 million wire was in reference to the completion of UK property. Okay? Now 134, page 134. Take your handphone and photograph this page, please. I count 10 seconds, huh? Don't waste time. I love to cover. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 9, and 10. Paragraph 507. Land registry records from the UK showed that approximately 4 days later, on about March 23rd, 2010, an entity called Stratton Street London Limited acquired a leasehold from the property bought by JhoLow for a term of 125 years. Subsequently, the same company around February 2014 extended the lease of the Stratton penthouse to approximately 205 years. Alright? Land registry records from the UK also showed that on about May 27, 2010, 7 Stratton Street London Limited, another company with the same name as the address of the property, an entity with a strikingly similar to Stratton Street London Limited, received, and the price said to be payable for Stratton Flat in a contract dated 27th May 2010. According to Land Registry records, the price paid value was over £1 million. Paragraph 510. Plaintiff DOJ alleges on information and belief that Low was affiliated with both Stratton Street London Limited and 7 Stratton Street London Limited, and uses entities to acquire these properties with funds from the approximately 35 million wired from Good Start, based on the following facts and circumstances among others. See, he buy the property using the 700 million diverted to Good Start, and then he create 2 other companies to buy from him. Understand? Right hand and left hand doing a tango. Next, you follow that page 135. Quickly for a second, photograph it please. I don't have much time. You got it? Okay. Para C. In late 2016, Low and the members of Low immediate family filed proceedings in New Zealand, which I referred to earlier, seeking to replace Rothschild Trust AG, the trustee responsible for administrating the bulk of Low's assets. In a submission made in those proceedings, Rothschild Trust disclosed that both the Stratton Street London Trust and the 7 Stratton Street London Trust were held for the benefit of Low and the Low family. They are 2 of the 3 London properties administered in trust for Low and Low family. Can you imagine? He bought properties and then created 2 trusts, right, with the same name, to buy them, to hide the illegal transaction using trust, the vehicle of trust. As alleged in paragraph 346, Low was the beneficial owner of Saloon Limited. Bank records for the Saloon account show several wire transfers from the Saloon account to Stratton London Trust, an entity with a name nearly identical to the entity that acquired the lease for the Stratton penthouse. Paragraph 511. In around February 2014, Low used funds traceable to misappropriate one entity proceeds to purchase the Stratton office and a property, consisting of multiple units located down the street from the Stratton penthouse and Stratton flat in Mayfair, London, for approximately £42 million. Low paid for the Stratton office using purported investment returns from a joint venture with who? IPIC, which were traceable in money laundered through Park Lane deal, another hotel he bought in New York. As noted above in paragraph 425, or about December 26, 2013, DLA Piper transferred approximately 56 billion to LHP account, representing the proceeds of sale of the partial interest in the Park Lane partnership to Mubadala. LHP and Low used the proceeds of the sale of equity in the Park Lane partnership to invest in a different joint venture with IPIC. Page 136. Please photograph it quickly. I'm going to read to you. This venture between JhoLow and IPIC, called the Condo Acquisition Cayman Limited, my God, they always use Cayman, which islands, was formed to acquire Coastal Energy, a Houston-based company with oil assets in Southeast Asia. Ultimately, Low and his father participated in the deal through an entity called Strategic Resources Global Limited, and IPIC participated through its wholly owned subsidiary, Compania Espanola La Petróleos S.A., CEPSA, a Spanish oil and gas company. Both Husseini, these bastard criminals, and Kubaisi, the latter of whom served as CEPSA chairman, were involved in the deal. SRG, Strategic Resource Limited, invested roughly 1/20th of the national capital, with CEPSA responsible for the remainder. Paragraph 513. All about December 27th, 2013, the day after the LHP account received the $56 million from DLA Piper, 55 million in funds were transferred from LHP account to another bank account in BSI Bank in Singapore, held in the name of SRG account. LHP was stated to be the beneficial owner of an SRG account in BSI Singapore. Low was also authorized to sign checks, the accounts, authorized signatory, and give BSI bankers instructions with respect to the account. Paragraph 514. On about the same day, this SRG received 55 million. It transferred 15 million to another bank account at BSI Bank in Singapore, held in the name of Condo Acquisition Cayman Limited. This account belonged to the entity that, according to Low, was investing in the condo joint venture on behalf of SRG. LHP was stated beneficial owner of the account, and Sent and Lee Lin Set were authorized signatories. His brother and one other person. Paragraph 515. On about January 2014, Condo Acquisition Capital Limited transferred 15 million to a bank account at Banco Bilbao, Vizcaya, Argentina, in Spain, that was beneficially owned by CAPSA. See? They use their own banks to launder money. These funds represented the investment by Low and LHP in the acquisition of the coastal energy in America, using money laundered through the Park Lane deal. Paragraph 516. On about February 3rd, 2014, roughly a week after this initial payment, CAPSA transferred 350 million back to SRG, ostensibly as a proceeds from the sale of SRG shares in a joint venture to CAPSA. The commercial basis for this return, 600% return, is not immediately known. I will explain later. So now, for this page, page 137. Okay, let me read. Low characterized the payment, this huge amount, right? $350 million has been a result from a decision by CAPSA that it wanted full control and ownership of the business, and thus has decided to buy out SRG's shares in the venture, buy out JhoLow, so to speak. Because this 350 million was proceeds of an investment of funds derived from the sale of equity in the Park Lane Hotel, which itself was purchased with misappropriated bond proceeds. The 350 million is itself also traceable to misappropriated bond proceeds. Paragraph 517. On about February 4th, 2014, SRG transferred approximately 350 million in supposed investment returns to the LHP account. An email to BSI employees on which LHP and Zen were copied, Low represent these funds were 100% owned by Mr. H.P. Low, his father. And on about the same day, 334 million in funds were transferred from LHP account to Low's personal account at BSI, purportedly as a gift to him, father to son. Okay. Now, let's go a bit further. How, before the sale of all these properties, what JhoLow did with one of the property. Page 138. Got it? It says here, the Stratton office served as office space for Myla, a lingerie company that Low acquired with funds traceable to divert proceeds of the 213 bonds. 2013 year bonds, right? Emails dated in or around July 2014 and August 2014 between Low and a representative of Red Granite Pictures confirmed that Low acted on behalf of Myla, a company that operated from the Stratton office and that was described in the email as a luxury lingerie brand. For example, an email dated on about 23rd July 2014, and sent at 1:05 from the email account JhoLow@myla.com. Low introduced a representative to Myla executives to follow up on any opportunities for Myla in the movie space. Alright? Can you see all the web? Okay. So, based on all these pages of pleadings, it is clear how JhoLow, together with, the two crooks, Arab Husseini Qubaisi, and his family, from the day one, the joint venture with Petro Saudi, diverted monies, first 700 million to Good Star, and thereafter diverted monies from the Goldman Sachs bonds into one tree to various trust companies to acquire property in England, okay, and use it for other purposes. And then at page 139, there's a statement from the Rothschild. It says here, in a submission made in 216 proceedings filed by the JhoLow family in New Zealand court, reference to paragraph 510, C above, then trustee Rothschild Trust disclosed that 89 Stratton Street, London Trust was held for the benefit of Low and Low family. It is one of the 3 known properties administered in trust for Low and Low family. Can you see the modus operandi? The target property was Stratton, but he created a trust called Stratton Trust. And he created 3 companies by the same name to buy over the property, which he used from the process of 1 MDB to buy. Can you see that? He juggled and juggled. You see the same modus operandi. Same name, slight difference. Alright? Remember the ABBA problem with IPIC that was registered in British Virgin Islands? To give the impression that that ABBA investment company, BVI, is actually a subsidiary of IPIC in Abu Dhabi. But it was a share. It was to receive and hide laundered money. So here you have the latest development in the DOJ case against JhoLow, his family, alright, and his masters. So now my question to numbskulls in UMNO, especially MKT members, and those ministers who continue, like Sadiq Krouak, Ismail Sabri, and what have you, saying that Najib is clean, virgin, no crimes committed. Alright? But they kept silent, you see, on JhoLow, this China Kwai, the proxy. Alright? The handler, the front man, doing all the dirty work. And the DOJ says part of the money came from loans made in Malaysia, the 5 billion loan by AmBank, converted to $1 billion US, sent to the JV company, 1 MDB, Petro Saudi. And then part of that 1 billion, 7 million went to Good Start, controlled by JhoLow. And then 7 million went pushing to buy various properties. Subsequently, from the bond that was arranged by Goldman Sachs, same thing happened. So now my question is, once again, to the UMNO scumbags, do you have any conscience? You call yourself Muslim leaders. Today is the month of Ramadan. Isn't it strange? Is it an evidence that God worked in mysterious ways in the holy month of Ramadan? This all came out. Another bag of filth, corruption, money laundering has come out. See, you thought you could divert the issue all right, of arresting some police officers in some gambling operation. Sure, they've committed a crime. But it's nothing compared to the filth, the criminality of the largest kleptocracy investigation. The blatant, blind, blatant robbery of our Malaysia's taxpayers' money. You see? One diversion after another. But God works in mysterious ways. Allah works in mysterious ways. Allah chose in this month of Holy Ramadan to come out with a disclosure of the claim filed on 7th June in California. It's all here. 144 pages of disclosure. So now, I challenge to all these Muslim leaders in UMNO. Your leader, gang leader says, all right, must be true to your faith. Huh? How do you practice that truth to your faith? Be true to your faith. When you still lie, mislead, misrepresent, and talk rubbish, and still try to cover up this evil crime, this corruption, as opposed to exposing the corruption, repent and ask for forgiveness for part of the cover-up, but instead you continue. Shame, shame, shame on you. To my good people of Malaysia, once again I'm asking all of you, I've taken the trouble, right, to do all this research, and I've asked you to photograph all these documents. I spent some time doing research. All of you always complain why my video address is so long. You think you can do it in 5 minutes? If I did it in 5 minutes because you want sensation, my enemies will attack me. They have no substance. I'm going to give you my opinion. See, I'm a lawyer by training. I go by evidence. And the best evidence is a source of evidence, original evidence. Can they accuse DOJ of lying, cheating? These are DOJ documents. And some idiot scumskulls are saying, you know, just because they don't like President Trump, that President Trump can be bought. And the DOJ claim will be sabotaged and withdrawn against JhoLow. You see, these scumbag Muslims, Wahhabis, they're so blind with anger and hatred that their so-called godfather, the false Muslim Obama, and godmother Hillary Clinton, false Muslims, who has made Muslim killing Muslims, they support them. And cast aspersion through some lobbying company to allege without basis that the DOJ will withdraw the claim against JhoLow. Instead, what? They filed 3 brand new suits. So to those Wahhabis, some of them are lawyers, traitors. Stop this nonsense, this propaganda. Stop it. You cannot do this propaganda. I will expose you by name and say you are a fraud. You're a liar and a cheat. I will expose by name and I challenge you to sue me in court. I challenge you. Because I had enough of your nonsense. Okay? DOJ will withdraw the claim. They may be able, the cabal, the criminals, to falsify documents, to sabotage proceedings, investigation. But let me say to you, there's a new FBI. The former director, Comey, has been fired, sacked. A bastard, a traitor. There's new AG, Sessions, former senator, digging all the dirt of Obama and Hillary Clinton. Okay? So don't tell me or the Malaysian people that DOJ don't know what they are doing. This is a proof of 3 suits. 3 suits, brand new suits. And this time, more evidence has come out. So to all Malaysians, let me say to you, there's enough propaganda and counter-propaganda. Right? Do not fear the cabal. He's going down the drain, down the tubes, to the hellhole, the cesspool of shit. They attacked me, they tried to intimidate me, imprison me, and I won my cases through the guidance and the blessing of Allah, God Almighty. And yet, they want the pound of my flesh. Like I said in my previous address, you can have my pound of flesh provided you can draw blood. Meaning, you have to kill me first. Otherwise you can't get my flesh. And I'll still fight till my last breath. You know why? Because Allah has assured me that truth will prevail. Justice will prevail. And we all, those of us who are in the forefront, we're not asking you to make any sacrifices. Just do the barest minimum. Enough talking. Alright? Enough being an armchair critic. Just support Parti Bersatu. Please give a total support to Mahathir Mohamad. At the age of 91, next month he's been 92 years old. He's fighting like a young man. No retreat. Overcoming one obstacle after another. Sacrifice his life. Everything for the country. And here we have numbskulls trying to undermine him. Talking rubbish. So I say to all of you, enough is enough. Because if you don't come forward and rally behind Parti Bersatu, the most critical party right now, I'm telling you, in the next election, if there's one election, is Parti Bersatu. No one can lead the people of Malaysia to victory without Parti Bersatu, without the leadership of Tun Mahathir. Now let me just say, for a long time I kept quiet. But I'm very taken by the demeanor, the professionalism, the humility of the president of the party, Tan Sri Muhyiddin. He didn't hog the limelight for like some of these idiots, right? In other parties within the opposition. He only makes statements when necessary. He was insulted, ridiculed, but he kept quiet. Because he knows that ultimately his integrity, his stature will carry him. And he's made sacrifices. And as a loyal party member, he followed the leadership of Tun Mahathir. And in time to come, he will rise high and tall and defeat his enemies within and without his party. Likewise, as a young man in that party, the youth chief of Bersatu, young man, bright future, but ridiculed and attacked by people outside. Tell me, how many young people of his age dare come forward, risk his neck, his career, and plunge in the depths of this struggle, no holds barred. So before anyone criticizes him, hold your tongue. He's a young man. He may make mistakes. So what? He will learn from it. What is important is his sincere desire for change, to change Malaysia for the better, and be a devoted, loyal supporter of the leadership. That's what you require. Not a scumbag loyalty bought by money, by Najib, but loyalty based on principles. And not some false principles, right? So and so must be a prime minister. as if it's an inheritance. Stop it! The time now is not for debating who should be Prime Minister. The time now is to destroy and bury the Najib regime once and for all. And from there, we will rise up, build a new Malaysia. Because this is what Allah has promised us. Do not sell the signs, His signs for a price. Adhere to the signs, to His commandments, to His edicts, and we will prevail. We will win. Have I not said to you how many times? Surrender to the will of Allah, absolutely, no reservations. Have absolute faith that He will protect, defend, and guide us under all circumstances, in the face of all challenges, enemies, and adversities. And have I not said very often that He always works in mysterious ways? Have I not said that to all of you? Have I not proven to you time and time when the Najib regime tried to divert attention from the main issues? Somehow or other, He intervenes and brings us all back on focus to the real issue. We're not interested, right, in the small gambling dens, small crooks. We're after the big ones, the number one. The number one, MO1. And we will succeed. So once again, I appeal to all good people of Malaysia, be focused. Alright? Everything must be focused. And I told you my last address, there are two strategies we must follow. There are Sun Tzu and the triangulation strategy. In a triangulation strategy, there's always a point you must focus to win. That point now is Bersatu, Party Bersatu. Believe you me, we will win when Bersatu leads. We will win, let me assure you, when Bersatu leads. Anything else is a non-starter. So if you are genuine patriot for a new Malaysia, a new beginning, then we stop and pause, and before we take the first step, we ask ourselves, where am I going? Which path will I take? Who will lead us to that path and to the glory of the promised land? By Allah God Almighty. With that, I thank you for your attention, and I hope that with the evidence given to you today, you will make your own research and help spread the truth. That's our only weapon. We don't need armies. We don't need the right police. That is our invincible weapon. Truth. And our shield that will defend us against all this onslaught is faith, absolute faith in Allah, God Almighty. With that, I thank you for your attention and wish you well. And a good day.